Who's they?
Infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51.
Okay, Sad, you have to calm down. Calm down.
That are coming.
Welcome to the first Oddfellas web show, starting me, Lou Trey, and
I like that. I forgot what they call me. Beloved bastard.
the beloved
That's
bastard.
The beloved bastard.
No, it was the violent bastard.
Oh, it was the violent bastard. I think
Yeah.
we used my full name and then Ricky, and it gave beloved bastard and beloved bastard or something like that.
Yeah,
It was
something like that. We're referring to the true fans will understand this and get this reference.
Yeah.
We're talking about the name generator, the Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
Yeah.
And we put
gave
in
us
our
the
names, and yeah, we got that. Actually, Lou Trey is just not. I didn't get that from the name generator, but I thought it was cool because my name's Luis, and people call me Louie or Lou, and I am the third of my. Yeah, I'm the third Luis. So I started calling me, or actually, funny story, when I was working before all this COVID shit happened, one of my coworkers said to me, oh, so you're Trey, like as in three, the third? And so he started calling me Lou Trey, as in Louis the third. And I liked that. I thought it was fucking dope. So recently I started using that like on my fucking web shows, not web shows, but like my nicknames or whatever. I feel like
It sounds very like urban. Like you're from 8 Trey. Like, damn, Louis Trey from 8 Trey. 8 Trey Crips, where you at?
It's the Lou Trey. But yeah.
Trey.
But yeah, welcome to our first and hopefully not last web show. We're trying this thing out, see how this works, and if you guys like
Definitely.
it. Sorry for my messed up beard and such.
Yeah, so we all look like we've been hibernating and we just barely cracked the window open. We're like, what's out there?
I know.
Is it snowed in? Huh? I didn't even realize.
What's going on?
What's going on in the world, huh?
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's fucking December already, dude. Like the fucking year went fucking by
Dude, it's
fast.
not even. It's already the end of December.
I know,
We're already,
it's
about to go
done.
into next year.
It's fucking done,
So,
man.
These last few months, I think since October, it just kind of seems like it went.
Oh yeah, for
It
sure.
seems like we were just barely planning the steak off.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was just like. Now it's almost New Year.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy,
It
man.
was insane. It went by real quick.
It sure did. I don't regret anything because there's nothing I could have done to like fucking made it any more memorable because can't fucking do shit. But
Yeah, as memorable as it could be.
yeah, exactly. But you know, it is what it is. We fucking shit happened, and now we're here, and hopefully within the next couple weeks, months, or whatever the universe has for us, there's some more good stuff waiting for us around the corner. And you guys, hopefully, you guys are on board with that.
Yeah, we definitely, we almost made it. I mean, shit, I was like, for sure. I thought to myself, I'm not gonna get this fucking virus, and then I do get it.
Yeah.
And then it's like towards the end of the year, it's like, fuck. Guess what? You're you're positive. Like, the fuck. It almost sounded. I felt like I had this like horrible disease in me, and I was just like, fuck, dude. I literally parked after that, and I just kind of sat in my car for a minute. I was like, damn.
Like, yeah, it's like I have this shit. Like the.
Like,
yeah. No, I
what am
mean.
supposed to do?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you wanted to bring it up, so like, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, it's not a big deal. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have it way worse than what I had it, so I'm not trying to make light of it in any way. But it still sucked. But I wasn't like affected to the point where I had to go to the hospital or anything. So I felt lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot. Like, I mean, I had a couple deaths in my family, and it's not my immediate family, but like my distant family. My uncle passed away, and rest in peace But like, yeah, it's taking a lot of people, and it's just it keeps getting closer and closer, man. Like it's too
Yeah,
close to comfort, man. And it's just like
yeah,
you can be as careful as you want to be, but it's it's the other people around you who are really not being
yeah.
careful.
You're at the mercy of a lot of like the world around you. You're not necessarily, you can be as careful as you want, like you said, but at the end of the day, it just takes, since the thing is that, you know, my, it was a coworker of mine that had it, so they didn't even know until the day after. Who knows how many days they showed up before that,
Yeah,
who knows where they got it from, but it was just kind of it's kind of one of those things like fuck, they didn't know for a couple of days, so then I think that, well, I don't think, I know that's how I got it because then I was oblivious and
yeah,
I was like, okay, we're all okay. And then after that I got it, and then it was just kind of like the chain continued. My girlfriend got it too because I didn't know, and obviously we're together all the time, hanging out and stuff, so she got it before I knew I had it. So, it's just one of those things that's like there's a window of obliviousness
yeah,
that nobody knows they have it until they know they have it. And then by then you've already infected who knows how many people.
yeah. It's
And then by then it's like the chain just keeps going because
yeah,
then those people aren't going to know for like at least one day, at the earliest one day, at the latest a couple of days before they're like, shit, I'm showing symptoms and I got to go. Who knows how many people they've infected by then.
yeah, exactly.
So it's just like it's kind of one of those things that seems like it seems very impossible to stop, just because some people, I didn't have symptoms at the beginning. I was like fine, and then it just kind of like before I knew it, it was like you're positive, and now she had it, and then it's just like no, nobody around us got it though, which is, I think we're very fortunate in that sense. So I think at least in my family and in her family, we stopped it where we were, like just me and her. So we got lucky in that regard, and I think at work as well, nobody else tested positive, so we're all everybody else is good. So, but it's just kind of, it seems hard to just kind of like know when to go get tested
Yeah,
because
exactly.
sometimes you have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thank you for like letting us know. I mean, you told us all in a group chat, and we were. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of worried because I just saw you, and I was
Yeah,
just like, should I go to get tested, bro? And and I was kind of worried, and for a while, like, I was like, dude, like, I can't get an appointment because every like the cases are going up ridiculous, like more so than the first time
yeah,
around. So there's a lot of people getting tested, and like so after you told me, I was like, you know what, like you said it was a Saturday, it was the day before we actually met up, which
yeah,
made me feel a lot better. But still, I was just like, you know what, I haven't got tested in a while, and
true,
there's
yeah,
another scare within my family, with my immediate family, because a coworker of one of my nieces, they were exposed to someone, and it was just like it was just too close to comfort. And then my
yeah,
uncle
yeah,
had just finished passing away, and I was just like, you know what, I rather not risk it, and I should just get tested. I
yeah,
just got tested yesterday, and I won't know the results until, yeah, I think tomorrow or the day after. And it's like, I've been still careful. I've been trying to, like, you know, be clean and not hug
yeah,
up on people. It's like I don't have any symptoms. I don't feel sick or anything, but still, it's like you just never know. And it sucks because it's like it's a really bad fucking case of like an STD. You gotta call all the people you've been with and tell them,
yeah.
hey, bro, like this is embarrassing, and it is, but that's life now. It sucks.
Yeah, yep, yeah, exactly. Now you have to try to like retrace your steps. Like, damn, who did I interact with? Who was I with?
Yeah,
What's the last person I saw before, all of this thing happened? And it's just, yeah, it sucks having to think about that and be like, damn, who should I tell? Who should I tell? Who's on the top of the list of like you should go get checked out.
yeah,
But you know, like with you, I was more or less certain because this the coworker hadn't been to work till Saturday, so I was fairly certain. I was like, it was pretty contained by then. or not contained, but it was pretty like certain that that was the day. So I was like, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue, but and I didn't start feeling anything until I think Monday, Tuesday or something. I got tested Tuesday, and then Tuesday, I originally had gotten tested Saturday, the day of the initial whatever the hell, but they said it is possible to test too early, in
Yeah.
which case you would test negative. And then I started feeling kind of not so great, so then I got retested Tuesday, and that's when that came back positive, and I was like, oh shit, I kind of knew it.
Yeah. And it's like
But yeah,
your body knows too, dude. Like it's just like just something's wrong, something's not right, and you just kind of like, fuck, I
yeah,
gotta get.
I didn't want to believe it at first, to be honest,
Yeah.
because but I kind of knew. I was like, shit. I was like, man, I've never, the world has never smelled better. Like it was just kind of a neutral. I was like, oh fuck, I can't smell.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's like,
oh shit, man. Like, oh, like, damn, like, when was the last time I showered? I don't smell that bad, huh? I fucking run around all smelly and shit. But it was like,
uh,
fuck, dude. I have no idea how much I smell, but and then I lost some taste for like a couple of days. But I started getting it back as of like yesterday, which I'm happy about. Some people lose it for a long ass fucking
yeah.
time. I was like, dude, I don't want to lose it for that long. How the fuck am I supposed to taste all my magnificent mead?
Yeah.
That was my biggest concern. But yeah, I've been getting it back slowly, and even beers are tasting like beer. Even Corona's starting to suck again. Otherwise, I would have been like, I could drink this all day.
Yeah. Pound.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the kind of shit I went through. I guess not a it's not a horror story, but it does suck. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you have
Yeah.
a constant weight on your chest, like all the whole time. Like, well, here I could explain it in a way that I can explain it because I don't smoke weed. I don't like smoking weed. But when you take a really big hit of a joint or a bong or something,
Yeah.
and then you start to get that cough, like that shortness of like you can't catch a breath.
Yeah.
It sounds like that. At the most extreme, that's what it feels like.
Damn.
Like your lungs feel like they're like tight and just like clenched. Like you
Damn.
can't breathe easy and you're just like
Yeah,
420, bro.
that's not a good feeling, man. I know that feeling
No,
all too
it
well.
feels horrible.
Yeah.
I imagine that's what like some asthma people might feel when they have like an asthma attack and their lungs start to
Yeah.
get tight. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can compare it to.
Yeah.
Taking a big hit from a bong.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're doing better, and I'm glad that
Thanks, man.
you have fucking energy, and
Yeah, I have today I have a lot of energy. Yeah, a few days like I was telling you earlier, I was just like wanting to nap all day. I was just
yeah.
like, oh, but I was like, dude, I'm sick. I should feel this tired, and then I just go to sleep and wake up and go back to sleep.
I've
Yeah.
been in fucking quarantine without having it because of all this fucking shit that's going on. That's how I feel every day. So it's kind of like, fuck. Like, do
Feel
I
like
have it? Like, fucking go
get
to sleep, wake
sympathetic.
up, and I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna go back to bed.
You're like, it's happening.
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
sleep.
So I need to get a fucking job, man.
It'll
But
I think it'll start to happen once all this shit kind of like once the vaccine is proven that it's not killing people. It's
turning
not turning people into werewolves.
turning them into zombies.
Yeah, I know.
The
We need
Umbrella
to wait a
Corporation.
couple months.
Yeah, yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you're doing better, and I'm glad you're here with us on our very first
Oh yeah.
web show. Um, yeah. So, what have you been doing other than sleeping? Have you been watching any of the Star Wars stuff?
No, I actually have not.
Why not?
I kind of wanted to. I've been wanting to watch the Star Wars because that's the only thing that I'm not really into. I'm into the Harry Potter. I'm into the Lord of the Rings.
All
I'm
right.
into the those kinds of the Marvel universe and the DC stuff. And Star Wars is the only thing that I'm not like hardcore into. That's got a big following. So if I was gonna get into anything, it'd probably be Star Wars. Just because right now they have a lot of exciting things that are kind of like progressing,
Yeah.
or coming out, or developing. So that's something that a lot of people are talking about, which is the what is it, Mandalorian new
Yes.
season or something coming out.
We just finished the new season of the Mandalorian. Just
Yeah.
finished, and it was pretty. It was epic, man. It
Was
was
it?
it was a lot of fan service. Like, I mean, you haven't really got into it, but I mean, you know of Boba Fett, right? You or
Yeah.
heard the name,
Yeah.
Boba Fett. Well, they did a lot of fan service to that, and then um, a lot of service to, like, I guess, fan fiction.
Uh,
They did it right. Like, they did it so good that it was better than the new trilogies that just came out a couple years ago. I
yeah.
I liked it because it
Skywalker.
was Star Wars, but as far as like the story and actually breaking it down, it was lacking a lot, and like there's a lot of loopholes, and
She's
the
not a Skywalker.
yeah, dude, don't get me fucking started, man. That whole fucking thing just like, what the fuck? Why would, I don't know. Well, this whole series, the first season is really good. It's a little slow, but if you're getting yourself into, or you're being introduced to the world, it's good you get introduced to the world of Star Wars through that show,
Oh,
because it's amazing. Like, I really liked it, and there's a lot of fan service. Um, and the ending of the last episode was just, dude, like, I am the type of person where I get excited and I start to
mm.
like hyperventilate and
You're like,
cry a little, and I start to cry a little and get emotional. And I was watching with my girlfriend the last episode, and I was just like quiet, and she turns around like, "Why are you so quiet?" And then she saw like I was tearing up and shit. It's just like, it brings me. There's some nostalgia effect to it, but it's really
right,
good.
gives you the feel goods.
Exactly. But
You're just like,
yeah, it was really good, man, and it reminded me of uh this one episode, or not an episode, is a joke of, you know who Trevor Nolan is, or
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah, or I think that's how to say.
Mm,
He's basically he's on Comedy Central. He's like he took over for the Steve Colbert Report, I think.
I know I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't put a face on this guy.
No worries. Well, he has a joke on his stand-up. He talks about how there's no like Mexican Jedi's in the whole
Oh,
Star Wars like universe, and
yeah.
like as of recently, like they started implementing a lot of like Latinos into the Star Wars universe. It started off in the first trilogy with when introduced the whole story of Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker,
Mm-hmm.
and they put a fuck, I forget his name. He was in the Mi Vida Loca, I think.
Mi vida
The
loca.
Jimmy Smith's, I think is his name. Well, anyways, he's in the Star Wars, and I think that's the official first Latino in the Star Wars universe. And then with Mandalorian, actually no, with Rogue One, they put one of the guys from Y Tu Mamá También. Remember that movie?
Yeah, yeah.
So one of the guys, I forget his name. I think is Diego de Luna, or Diego Luna.
Ah,
So
okay.
another Latino who's in
Mm.
the Star Wars universe, and then there's Poe Dameron, who's Oscar Isaac. I think that's his real name. Who's Guatemateco, or from Guatemala. He's also Latino, obviously, and dude, there's all kinds of like Latino representation in the Star Wars universe now, which is crazy because it's like it was you know it was like science fiction, and like
Yeah.
it's all meant for Caucasian white people, and it's just like, I
Yeah.
mean, we grew up with it because that's what we liked, but they didn't
True.
cater to us Latinos, and
Yeah. True.
and going back to the joke, is basically he's saying that um, he went to an airport and they called out some Latino, a Mexican guy with a wand to wave him, like to like search him, And he's
Yeah.
like, dude, it's like I felt like a Mexican Jedi was like, swinging his lightsaber on it.
Lightsaber.
It's like it's fucking funny. But what I'm going with this is that um, in that show you have the closest to having a Mexican Jedi in the Star Wars universe because
Mm.
um, Pedro Pascal, who's the Mandalorian, he holds the black lightsaber, and that's a whole different story. But he's not a true Jedi. But it's the closest we'll ever get to a Latino or a Mexican Jedi, which is like fucking amazing. Cause it's like fuck, dude, I am such a fan of Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaacs and like all these like Latinos, and it's crazy to finally see some Latino representation in like shit that I fucking love, which was
Yeah.
not catering to Latinos.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough of my rant. I'm just excited. You should watch it.
Yeah, that yeah, I definitely want to get into that. And you briefly mentioned the black lightsaber. Now,
Yes.
just so people know, I do know this much. So people know out there that don't or might not know. Actually, there's probably a lot more people that know more than I do. But the color of the lightsaber is very, very significant.
Yes.
Colors of lightsabers aren't just colors because it's like, ooh, I like blue, I like red, I like yellow, I like green. Very, it's very hard to get certain colors, right? Because of the I don't know what they'd call them, crystals or the whatever the base of the lightsaber
Yeah.
is what makes it that color, correct?
Yeah. So the crystals, they're called Kyber crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the guy who's like super nerd out about it because I don't know too much. I just know enough to have a
Yeah.
conversation with a real Star Wars fan. But like, who gives a fuck? I love Star Wars, and I'll answer as much as I can.
Yeah.
But as far as the crystals, and as far as to my knowledge, is yes, the crystals are very significant to basically your aura or your soul type thing.
Mm.
So the green represents like unity or some shit like that, and like red
Yep.
is obviously Sith, you know. And you have purple, which was made specifically
Samuel Jackson.
for Samuel L. Jackson. He wanted specifically a purple lightsaber for no reason other than he's Samuel L. Jackson, and that's
And then
literally
they worked the story around it too,
yeah,
no?
they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's significance to the different colors. I think there's like yellow, white, uh, green, blue, red, and obviously black. Black is like the black lightsaber within the Star Wars universe. I believe is the only black lightsaber that there is, and it's super rare because it was made by a Mandalorian from back in the day, not the Mandalorian that we know or are watching right now, but a different,
Mm.
the first original Mandalorian yielded this black lightsaber, and he was the first Mandalorian slash Jedi. And whoever, after he passed, whoever held or wielded the black lightsaber basically controlled all Mandalorians. And Mandalorians, it's like a weird structure because it started as basically as people. But it was an alien race, and then the alien race were basically taking over different planets and different sections of the universe, and so they
Mm.
took up slaves, and some of them learned the Mandalorian way and the Mandalorian religion, and so now it became like this religion type of thing. So it's kind of like the opposite of the Jedi, not
Mm.
necessarily the Sith because the opposite of Jedi is Sith, but kind of like a different religion. So it was just like a different religion. So basically, if you yield this, you yield the power of all Mandalorians, which is a considered a religion, and
Yeah.
you can go into battle or fucking rule a fucking world of Mandalorians or whatever have you, whatever you want to do with it, basically. But that's
Damn.
the gist of the Mandalorian and the black lightsaber.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a lot to the fucking story, and I'm not doing it any fucking justice, but it's
Yeah.
it's good, man.
Yeah, I just I knew that much at least that there was a significance to the colors. It wasn't just like you went to the Jedi store and you were like, "Ooh, I like the pretty red one,"
Yeah,
or I like this or that or whatever. It's something that's kind of comes to you or is handed down through whatever these crystals, and you're able to create one, or it's given to you, and it holds a significance.
yeah. Well, like some were handed down. Like for instance, Luke Skywalker's first official lightsaber was blue. It was his father's. It was Anakin's first lightsaber, and it was handed down to Luke. So that was his official lightsaber.
Yeah.
And then he created his own out of like the kyber crystals, like I'm talking about, and it was green. Um, and the way that the red lightsabers, how they become to fruition, is that they make the kyber crystal bleed, and when it
Mm.
bleeds red, and that's when it turns red. So that's a whole fucking lore system. Yeah,
That's the Siths.
yeah, that's the
that's
Sith.
the naughty guys.
Yeah, and then there's
And
a. Go
isn't
ahead.
there a rule amongst us? Well, just to kind of throw in there, just like I said, I've been trying to get into this, and I like to learn the history and the lore and all that stuff. It's very intriguing to me.
Yeah.
But isn't there a rule amongst the Siths that there could only be two at a time, right? A master and a student amongst Siths,
Well, as
or
far
something of the sort?
see, I'm not too familiar with it, but it yes, as far as like some Sith technology,
Mm-hmm.
basically, this technology, there's a specific word that it's called, but I can't fucking think of a name top of my head right now. In order for you to harness the power of this Sith technology, you need a master and a Padawan, or
Mm-hmm.
a follower. And
Yeah.
yeah, there is such thing as there can only be two. But as far as being a Sith, there's all kinds of Siths. There's Siths that exist within like stories, like obviously we have Darth Vader and his master, and then Darth Vader goes and sends orders to other Siths. Um,
Right.
so it's a little weird, but yes and no. So that's my answer.
Yes and no. So I know I heard it somewhere, but I don't know if it's like an actual thing that's followed. But I know it was stated as like there's usually only like one, at least main ones.
Hmm.
They have like people around them and stuff, but there's always like main guys, like the master, and then the one that's being the Padawan, as you say.
Yeah.
And then the when it's time for him to take over, he'll kill his master and take on a Padawan of his own, and then
Some
that's how it kind of continues.
something like
Something
that.
in the sorts, but eventually all Siths know that they're gonna be taken down by their own uh creation, which would be their students or their Padawan. I think, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar about how that works. I just know, like I said, just know enough to have a conversation. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole different thing that I think would be cool to explore, especially with all this
Oh yeah.
live action stuff that's going on right now. But I mean, dude, I hands down fucking 10 out of 10 recommend The Mandalorian. If you haven't watched it, the season just ended, so you can binge watch both seasons. And yeah, man, fucking, it's a good fucking show.
No better time than now, huh?
Yeah. Oh, but
Seems like it's that.
being like how you were saying earlier, being a Marvel fan, the new show, the Scarlet and the fucking Vision show, I forget the name of it. Uh, fucking Red Vision, I forgot the fucking name of the show. Well, that's coming out next week, I believe. Well,
Oh shit.
technically next year, but
Oh, They're gonna be technical about it.
Yeah, it's
Scared.
January January 12th, I believe, is when the show comes out.
Oh, okay.
Scarlet Vision or I don't know what the fucking show is, but it's a Marvel series and it shows basically what happens after that whole fucking shebang happened with Snap and Thor and fucking Thanos and all that shit. Basically,
Shit.
after what happens with Endgame and Scarlet Witch basically goes crazy. And I wanted I don't know. Are you familiar with X-Men?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
Okay,
I'm not sure how deep we're gonna go, but I love the X-Men. Yes.
okay. Are you familiar with the villain Mojo? Is like this big green guy with like cybernetic hair. He was like
Yeah. Yes. This is when Wolverine, when they're in the future, right?
kind of.
It what they he used to fight with a Wolverine that had like a fucking T-shirt on and he had like a machine gun and shit.
No,
It was like a weird X-Men. That's
that's
something else.
yeah, that's something else. That's Cable or it could be Bishop. I'm not sure. But it's a villain.
Uh-huh.
This guy, he basically is obsessed with entertainment, and so he
Hmm.
he kidnaps the X-Men and puts and forces them to be entertaining. So he puts them in a show. So he puts the X-Men in a show, and I think this is how they're gonna connect the X-Men into the MCU or the Marvel Cinematic Universe because we haven't seen the X-Men in the new version of the Marvel movies, right? So
Right.
I think Mojo is going to be introduced, and Mojo is going to
Hmm.
somehow kidnap Scarlet Witch and put her in like this fucking fake universe or dimension where she is basically entertaining people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which you kind of get a glimpse of in the trailer. I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet.
No.
Okay, so in the trailer, she's like basically reenacting popular shows from I Love Lucy to like Brady Bunch and shit like that. So
Hmm.
she's going through like a different era throughout the
Right.
show, right? So I think this is how they're gonna connect the X Men and the modern, fucking MCU, fucking Avengers movies. They're gonna
Uh,
introduce the X-Men through this because it just makes sense to me at least because it's like
yeah.
you
Yeah.
get this villain that is obsessed with entertainment and then you capture the Scarlet Witch and you turn her into this basically show which is what he does like that's his he's just obsessed he's not really a bad villain he's obsessed with ratings and entertainment, right? And
Yeah.
in the trailer, you see that she's going through like all these hit comedy shows from like the 50s all the way to the 90s and 2000s. So
Hmm.
I just think that somehow we're gonna get connected, and I hope
Damn.
I'm right.
So that's gonna be the patch in.
Yes,
The linking, the common denominator that's just gonna
yes.
link them both together. Okay, but that's I wonder why they did that. Why they haven't? Maybe just too many characters would be involved at one time if they kind of threw the X-Men in there.
Well,
Maybe the X-Men already have had their own little universe separately, kind of going on this whole time.
Well, technically, like, yes, that's happened because, obviously the X Men have been coming out, like the Wolverine movie, Logan, and the X
Yeah.
Men, all those movies, even Spider Man. The thing is that what happened there is it wasn't owned by Marvel. So, believe it or not, back in like early 2000, Marvel was going broke. And in order for them to stay afloat, they sold the rights to their characters. So Fox bought the rights to the X Men. Sony bought the rights to Spider Man and the Spider Man series, and so on and so forth. So it was broken out. And when the whole Disney deal happened not too long ago, Disney bought out Marvel. So now Disney and Marvel are in cahoots, and Disney owns Marvel. So now now Disney wants to make these movies with the Marvel characters, the thing is that other companies like Fox and Sony and Universal, which own the rights to the Hulk and Fantastic Four, they own the rights and they had to repurchase the rights to them. So that's why you saw Disney buying out Marvel, Disney buying out Fox, and they did a exclusive deal with Sony, and now they kind of have Spider-Man back.
Yeah.
And so it's like this whole weird shit.
Shit.
So that's why
It's all money.
yeah, it's all money. That's why you didn't really see the X-Men in the the Avengers or the Marvel cinematic universe because of all these exclusive rights and ownership of different characters. But in reality, we all know, Spider-Man is a Marvel character and fucking X-Men is
Yeah.
a Marvel character. But as far as making like movies with those rights, it's all split up. And so that's why Disney was buying shit off. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, now that Disney owns everything, now we're gonna see a little bit more of other characters and mutants now in the fucking cinematic universe. And what's happening, what there's rumors of happening, is that they're going to tie in a lot of the stories that already or movies that were already created. Um, and say basically it was happening, but in a different dimension or in a different universe,
Mm.
and now
Right.
everything's interconnected because of the snap or somehow in that sense.
Right.
But yeah, it's all about money, and I'm just happy that we're finally gonna see some fucking good X-Men movies. Cause to be
Yeah.
honest, like the only X-Men movie that I really like was Logan, and that was like heartbreaking because it was like, dude, Logan, X-Men, fucking Wolverine, like he's my favorite, and they did him justice in that last movie, but it was like, fuck, I want to see more of it.
Yeah, dude, Logan's the fucking he's a shit, man. I'd take him over the Hulk anytime. I don't care if he beat him.
Yeah, that's another
But
thing with the Hulk, because Universal Studios owns rights to the Hulk, and these movies they have Hulk in it, but it's not like he has like little bit of face time, not so much as the story revolves about around him. So it's like they're thinking of rumors out there. They're thinking of remaking the or giving a complete movie to the Hulk, where they introduce the Hulk and Wolverine, which is their iconic fight and first episode, which I actually have up here on my wall, which is Wolverine versus the Hulk.
yeah, that was I remember that one. I remember when that came out. I was so pumped about it. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, it was
It
fucking
was
dope.
such a casual way to start him too. He's like, "Let's see, where is this guy?" Or some shit like that. He's like, "Just get away from me!" And he's like, "What are you doing?" Just fucking smacks the shit out of him. But it was like such a weird way to start the fight because they're like
Yeah,
already in like a battlefield, like alone out there in the forest, and then just kind of like they just set each other off. But yeah, I love those Hulk versus fights and everything. They're pretty cool. They're just nice short little videos. No storyline really, just they kind of happen to run into each other based around what they were going through at the moment, and then they just had a fight, and that was it.
yeah. I mean, that's keep it short and sweet, man. That's all you really need to do.
That's true. I know that the on Netflix, they're about to release the Wolverine anime. I mean Wolverine, the X-Men anime series, where the
I
X-Men go to Japan or something, and they're having to fight some sort of a criminal masterminds or whatever the fuck in Japan. But it's based off of X-Men anime. I just saw it, and I was intrigued by it. I was like, because it's going for more of an anime kind of a vibe, and it's centered in Tokyo,
yeah.
so it's definitely going for those vibes. But it's about the X-Men. I saw the initial like trailers for it. Looks interesting. It looks like something I could watch, but it's definitely not centered around the X-Men being the X-Men. It's, the X-Men in Japan having to deal with some sort of an evil there.
Mm,
But it's interesting, as you were just kind of talking about, it reminded me of this X-Men series that's now going to come out, and it almost seems like completely separate from anything that's going on with the universes of like Marvel or any of that stuff. It's just like something over here, like oh, X-Men anime over here.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
gotta
totally different.
I gotta look into that. Sounds pretty interesting. I mean,
Yeah, looking. I was gonna watch it, see how the series went. I think it's a series. I'm not sure if it's a movie, but I think it's a series, and it'll be interesting to see the revamped, refreshened up characters.
yeah.
Wolverine looks young.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see how it all turns out.
Yeah, definitely, man. Uh, but yeah, man, I got some news the other day. One of my friends, he actually listens to the podcast, and he was just giving us a lot of praise. He's just telling us that we're doing a
Nice.
good job, and that we vibe very well, and that we just everything that we talk about kind of blends in together. And it's just, I started talking to him about it, how we're very subconscious about it because we don't never know when to cut it or when to
Oh, right,
jump
true.
into a different thing. I mean, these things they're hard to do. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm glad, and I feel like, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like, appreciate it in a way, because it's like we put a lot of work into these things,
yeah.
and yeah, it was just, I had to share that with you because
Oh man, that's
I mean,
awesome.
I felt good, and hopefully you feel good about it.
Of course, that's good. Yeah, because you never know what the hell you're doing. You're just kind of throwing yourself out there, and it's like you don't know. I think not getting any feedback is where you kind of feel like you're swinging in the dark.
Yeah,
You're just like you don't know what's happening. But it's like when somebody kind of tells you, like, "Oh man, this is good," or "Hey, you guys are talking a lot." Anything really. It's kind
yeah,
of like like they flick the light on for a second, and you can kind of look around the room. You're like, "Okay, this way."
yeah,
It gives you a little insight. It makes you feel like something you're doing. You can now work towards a goal, or you can just keep doing what you're doing. If they're like, you know what, that works good. Just keep it up, keep going. It's all great praise. So shouts out to your friend.
yeah, George.
Appreciate the feedback.
Thanks for the feedback, George, and we really
Yes, thank you,
appreciate
George.
listening to us and listening to us rant. But yeah, he was,
Sometimes.
yeah, but he was telling us a lot of good stuff, and yeah, man, I just had to share that because yeah, it made me feel good. And this was like,
Yeah,
this is like any feedback, and that's I think
yeah,
that's why it's important, at least for us, and that's why I push it. It's like, if you guys have any feedback or want a fucking topic or want to say anything, just fucking email us or send a message through Instagram. Anything, like, any feedback is good feedback. But
it's true. It really is. Even if you're like, dude, you guys just fucking talk too much. You're like, okay,
yeah,
that's feedback.
yeah,
Let
it's
us know.
something, like, it's
Yeah.
fucking. Just don't be a dick and be like, "Oh, your shit
Yeah.
sucks."
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
I
Just say.
got I got past like 5 minutes, and I was like, nah. I was like, that's, you're not even giving us a chance.
Yeah, I know. Like, come on, man. Say something constructive. Be like, you know what? I would have enjoyed it a little bit more had you guys maybe cut a little bit faster to a different topic or something. But
Yeah,
something, say something. Think about your Think about your hate for us, and then turn it into a learning lesson, I guess.
yeah. That's why, like, I feel sometimes like subconscious about like nerding out, because like me and you can talk for hours about fucking comic books and video games and shit like that. But I
Yeah.
know there's already episodes out there of us nerding out, and I just like, fuck, I don't want to make this
Yeah.
another comic book or fucking video game episode. And that's why I'm like, I kind of want to change it up, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
I'm having fun conversating about this and like nerding out with you. But we're trying to be entertaining, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah.
you get what you get because we're fucking nerds.
We have the interests that we have. It's not like we have any. We're not trying to force this conversation, but we do want to keep it as dynamic as possible in terms of having different things that we want to talk about. So,
Yeah,
we have our moments. So if it's a bad thing, let us know. If You don't like the long rambles about things you don't understand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I do. The only thing I know at the moment is that our number one fan, Stephanie, was being annoying. She couldn't she thought that I had like a stack of like episodes that were just kind of sitting around waiting to be uploaded, but that was not true, of course. And so she couldn't wait, so she started telling me that I should record something. And I was like, I'll see if I can figure out this Zoom thing or whatever. But luckily, we figured it out.
Yeah,
So we're
just
able to feed her fix.
a couple steps here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't.
We'll eventually get it better and better every single time.
Yeah. So
But
did
yeah,
did you hear about fucking Trump's last hurrah, where he's trying to overrule some like fucking shit that uh basically getting the stimulus check was, as we know, is $600, right? There was a new stimulus check,
yeah.
and then I guess he went on a press conference and he was like, "Well, I want to overrule it so that we can make it 2 grand, um, because $600 is not enough." Like, do you think he's doing it for the right reasons, or he's doing it to make himself, like, I don't know,
I mean,
gain traction to do something else?
it could be. I mean, the thing with politics and politicians, you never know where it's coming from 100%.
Yeah,
There's always an alternative agenda that they're trying to do. There's always something, you know.
but
Who
I'll,
knows if it,
but I'll
go
hit
go
you
ahead.
with he's not a politician.
Well,
You
that's
know?
true. I mean, you could argue that now he is though. He's got at least
Yes,
4 years,
absolutely,
at least 4 years
absolutely.
experience. But yeah, you're right though. He's not a career politician. He's not one of those guys that, knows the ins and outs and knows how to, do stuff like this. But maybe he learned a couple things and maybe who knows, maybe this money's coming from like next year's budget and he's like, fuck Biden, I'm gonna give everybody 2 grand. So let's fucking stick it to that guy. Who knows? And obviously it's gonna make him look good.
Yeah,
Is going to be something that's like people are going to be like, holy shit. And then it's something that, what if he does want to run again after 4 years? Now he's like, remember, I was the guy that did this, and on my last dying breath before I left office, I gave you 2,000 instead of 600. You guys got to remember me.
Papa
So it'll
Trump.
give him a little bit. It's all strategic. I think
Yeah,
it's something so that it leaves people with almost like a positive note, even if you don't like him. It's like, but he did give us $2,000 though.
yeah,
It leaves that good, like, that good memory. So I'm sure it's a strategic maneuver. He doesn't give a fuck about us.
yeah,
It has something to do with leaving that positive note and leaving that positive, like, oh shit, people are gonna remember money
yeah,
because people love money. So yeah, I think it's got something more to do with that kind of a thing. As much as he'll portray it as like, oh no, it's not enough. People need to have their money. And I do agree. There's people out there that aren't being able to, provide for themselves, and this is gonna help them out a lot to get them through because there's a lot of shutdowns that are still in effect, and this disease is still running around. So it's kind of hard to say because it is the right thing to do, but at the same time, it's being done not because it's the right thing to do, but more so just to kind of leave that positive note, I
yeah,
think, so that people remember, almost like, you guys owe me. I gave you guys $2,000 even though you didn't elect me.
yeah,
So I think there's always an alternative motive to any political move,
yeah,
even if it does help you and it helps us and it helps everybody. I think there's always a little bit of a, we'll only do it if it's going to benefit the politician in the end. And I think it's going to do both. It's going to help us and benefit them.
yeah. I mean, I I don't know too much about the small fucking fine print in the whole
Yeah.
fucking deal, whatever the fuck it is. But I feel that because I read somewhere that it basically has all this shit and stimulus help to other factions of the military and other help,
Mm,
and it doesn't even mention money towards going to like help medical staff or hospitals or anything like that.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's just like they're putting in money
Yeah,
into
that's
like
true. Yeah,
the
that's true. This is something that I think we touched bases on when we had what I call her now, nurse whistleblower Jessica, which is Luis's girlfriend. And she was talking a lot about this kind of stuff that nurses and medical staff don't really get. Forget monetary compensation. They have a difficult time getting just basic things that they need, like the right kind of masks, the
yeah,
right kind of face protections and gloves and things of that nature. Simple things that people would be like, well, that should be provided for you.
yeah,
She said unless you're working directly in the COVID unit, you don't really get anything other than like the basic face coverings. And she said those really don't do anything against airborne viruses and stuff. And she said that essentially like they have to like put themselves at the most risk to be even considered for the protection that the entire hospital needs. And they're putting a lot of the money above the basic well-being of the staff,
yeah,
which is, and for her frustrating, and I'm sure for many other the healthcare workers very frustrating that they have to go to work, uh, long hours, like you said, no days off, is like understaffed, always working around people that sometimes have it but haven't been diagnosed yet with COVID, and
yeah,
not having the adequate protection that they need, and they're potentially infecting not only the nurse but their entire family when they go back home
yeah,
for the at the end of the day, because you don't know how long it's going to take for them to realize that they've been infected. So it's just, she said that it's very difficult to have to deal with this kind of thing, and then at the same time, have no support from your own employer
yeah.
that's supposed to be providing you with all these things
Yeah, it fucking
for your
sucks.
safety.
It fucking sucks because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, when the first thing happened back in March, we were hanging out with basically it wasn't as harsh in their hospital. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, I guess technically.
Hmm.
So we were hanging out with them, and they had to purchase everything for themselves. Like the
Yeah.
hospital wasn't providing like adequate fucking PPE, which is personal protection equipment. Mask, fucking face shields. Even at some point, like they have like it's like the like shirts, like cotton shirts that you can throw away. Like there
Yeah.
were like some of them were using fucking trash bags, like black trash bags you buy at Costco, because it was
Damn.
insufficient and it was like really bad, dude. It's like I get it, like at the time it wasn't that bad, but it was bad because it's like if they're like missing that equipment, like what does that say about our country and our healthcare workers? Like, dude, like where's all this money going to? Like we pay a bunch of fucking taxes, we pay
Oh
a
yeah.
bunch in insurance and health insurance, and like for them to like have to fucking worry about, oh well, fuck, like I don't have time to go out and buy fucking toilet paper or have to go buy my own face mask, provide for my own face mask. Like that's fucked up, like.
Yeah.
And it's still happening right now too. Like, dude, there's still, for whatever reason, people are hoarding fucking toilet paper for whatever reason. I don't know. This is like
Yeah.
you can't find toilet paper anywhere around my neighborhood. It's just like, really, dude? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like it makes no fucking sense. But I mean, it just goes to show, like, the government and corporations are in bed together and they don't give a fuck about us or even
No.
their employees, or they don't give a shit as long as that they keep making fucking their paycheck. They're not gonna give a fuck. And that's one thing that a lot of people are like talking about nowadays, is that they want to because tax season is coming up. It's right around the corner. They're saying don't pay your taxes. Like, what are they gonna do? Fucking arrest everybody? Like, that's how the government gets their money, by us paying taxes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people are saying let's take a stand and not pay taxes. Like, I mean, it's not very organized, but I'm kind of down with it too, because it's like, dude, like, first of all, I don't know if I want to fucking have to pay all this money back that I'm getting from
Oh,
unemployment.
true. Yeah.
You know, like all this stimulus check, all this other shit. I don't know what's gonna happen. This is probably gonna be my first time going to a like tax agent, because I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like, usually I just type it in and it's like wham bam, and there you go. And
Yeah.
this is gonna be the first time where I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna have to pay somebody to do my taxes, and
Yeah. I don't know what the hell to do with all this.
yeah, and if for whatever reason I have to pay taxes, I don't know where I'm gonna get the money, because I can't find a job. Like,
Yeah.
I've submitted so many applications and no one's calling me back, and the few people that do call me back, I've been on one interview since this whole shit started, which fucking, it's very demoralizing.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate climate to be in, having to look for a job right now, because you really can't go anywhere. There's really not a whole lot of jobs that are just kind of like open for people to just kind of like come on in.
Yeah,
There's a lot of jobs that are shut down or severely impacted to where they're like running at either half a capacity or less than half a capacity of what they usually are. So they're not really hiring. They have actually have people let go, or they have people kind of waiting to even come back. Like, they're
yeah,
not completely fired. They're just kind of lingering.
yeah.
And it's just like I said, it's difficult to go out there looking for a job right now. Uh, I feel fortunate, but it makes me. I feel for for you, for people that are out there, like, because I can't imagine having to go out there and look for a job right now.
Yeah.
So definitely props to you. Keeping it
Thanks, man.
strong. Keeping staying the course, and at least trying to stay positive and still going out there to look.
Yeah.
Because discouraging is an
It's
understatement.
yeah, it's definitely demoralizing, dude. That's like the best word I can describe it. It
Mm,
sucks, and it's like, even I've tried my hat in, like, you know grocery stores or even like fast food.
places that you don't really.
Yeah,
It's
like,
you came from something else, something better,
yeah,
but you're even looking in other places where
yeah,
you wouldn't normally be looking. Yeah.
and nothing, dude. And it's like, I understand it, because it's like, they don't have the money or the capability to like bring in certain people or more people, and it's just fuck. It sucks, and
Yeah.
like, but I mean, I have small little jobs here and there, like, like today, like I was mentioning earlier, like getting out of bed sometimes sucks. It's just like I wake up and it's like I got nothing to do. And today, fortunately enough, I was helping out with my family making tamales, which I taste tested and I approve.
Taste tested, approved.
But like, I this brings me to my next topic. I grew up in the kitchen in a really kind of fucked up way, but I know how to cook, and I mean, I didn't win the steak off contest, which is okay, but I still know how to cook. But
Oh man.
like with tamales and like, like any type of like food, like in Mexican culture, like the men don't belong in the kitchen, right? And that's what my next topic is. Like, is that normal in your family? Like in my family, my mom, she taught me how to make, like, as much as she could help me to make or teach
Hmm.
me to make. And so when it comes to like Christmas time, like I'm expected in the kitchen. And in a lot of families, it's like, no, like guys don't make tamales or guys don't belong in the kitchen. Like I don't know how is that with your family or in your case your experience?
Um, I mean, definitely it's kind of like that, I think it's I don't know. For Mexicans, it's almost like there's an accepted kind of things that they're allowed to cook. Like there's, for example, like carne asada. That's
Yeah.
usually the men. My dad used to always, make like the like tacos and ceviche and kind of like fun stuff like that. He would do like he would go to the store, get all the ingredients, and make it, and take his time and make it. But like in terms of like everyday, like lonche, la
Yeah.
cena, all that shit was like no, that was the women did that. But in terms of like tamales, yeah, it was always my aunt, my mom, and my aunts, kind of like in the kitchen. They'd prepare all that, and then they'd make the food, and then that was it. We'd all be served when it was ready. But I think that's just a traditional Mexican kind of a deal. But I personally like to cook as well. I like to make some my own foods, and um, I like to learn some of the recipes that my mom used to make, and I find it interesting and something very, very useful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just a traditional Mexican kind of a thing. They're separate.
Yeah.
Except for a certain respectable kind of things that men are allowed to kind of like cook, or
Yeah.
that they like to cook. I guess you could say it's not even allowed, just like that they like to do
Yeah.
carnitas or mojarras,
Oh yeah,
frying
yeah.
them outside or whatever. It's just like, oh yeah, this is a man thing to do. Like we're gonna cook it out here.
Yeah, like
And but yeah,
like my dad he makes the carnitas. We're both from Michoacan, so like my dad knows all that shit. A
mm,
copper fucking pan and the
caso,
whole,
yeah,
yeah, the caso, like the whole works. He does that shit. The same thing with carne asada, the same thing with like mojarras and shit like that. So like how you're describing, like those type of things, like barbecuing, I guess. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
for the man, and like everything
yeah.
else is for the woman. But like I grew up, like my mom, she would tell me like, hey, you know what, like I would come home from school and she would be tired, and so she would tell me like, you like I'll teach you how to make something. And I was like, oh, like be lazy, be a little lazy fat boy, and be like, I don't want to make it. And it's like, like
I don't want to
I'll,
see how it's made. I
yeah,
just want to eat
yeah, I just want
it.
to fucking eat it. And she told me like, no, like you got to learn, because one day I'm gonna die, and who's gonna make you your food? And that's how like it all started. I would cry when it first started, cause like, oh, you can't die, mom. Like, no, like what are you doing? Like, and in that sense, like I mentioned earlier, that was kind of fucked up, because I was
Yeah,
like I don't want you to die. Like I had this thing, but like that's what got me into the kitchen. Like I learned how to make huevos and rice and fucking beans and shit like that. And there's still some stuff that I don't know. Like I'm still not very confident with my rice, but I still like ask her like for tips and shit like that. And there's sometimes when I'm experimenting with like ingredients or like meats or something like that, and I'll tell her like, does this taste right? And she'll taste it, and she told me add a little salt or add a little this. So I still depend on my mom a lot. But yeah,
yeah,
like I love the kitchen. Like that's I've never I'm fortunate enough where m- my dad or my family wasn't like, oh no, men don't belong in the kitchen.
yeah, yeah,
I'm fortunate enough to my mom's like, no, you gotta fucking learn. Like she taught me how to wash the clothes and wash dishes, and like I guess I'm in a way in those traditional thoughts or whatever. It's like I'm very a mandilon or whatever, how they call them. But like I don't depend on anybody. Like I can make my own food, clean my own clothes. I can even fucking sew. Like my mom taught me how to sew. Like all this little shit, and it's just like it sucks because I see other males who don't know how to fucking cook. They go to
yeah.
and buy food every fucking month or every day for lunch at McDonald's because they don't know how to cook. Or
Mm.
even to the point where they don't even know how to fucking drive because they're so used to their parents or their girlfriend driving
Yeah.
everywhere. You know, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, in that sense, like, I feel sorry for you, and I wish I can showed you, but like your mentality is also very skewed, where it's like, nah, I don't need that shit. I can just go buy my own fucking lunch at McDonald's or whatever, you know. But it's just like this. I I am eating my fucking
Your
work.
food.
Yeah, and like, you know exactly how we're doing with our meat. You know, we fucking made our meat. Like the meat that we
Yeah.
have. You know, like that's our the fruit of our labor. You know, and it's like, to me that's never been like a man or a female job. You know, and it's like I love to make stuff. You know, and I'm I'm grateful for a lot of the teachings that my mom gave me and a lot of opportunities. And I'm also grateful for you for giving me the opportunity to fucking brew some beer,
Oh
some, you
yeah.
know, and mead
Some
with you.
mead.
Yeah, because it's like, dude, like, I've been wanting to do it. I've been wanting to fucking do it, and it's just, it's hard to do it with by yourself. I mean, it's not really.
Yeah.
You can technically go out and buy all this shit, but it's fun to do it with someone else you can talk to and be like, hey, dude, like, let's fucking try this. Or we
Yeah.
start fucking fantasizing about shit. And so I'm very fortunate to have met you and for you giving me that experience making the meat. And I feel very connected in that sense where I'm fortunate enough to know how to make food and been given the skills necessary to make food, and also with you to like make fucking mead and beer. And
Yeah.
you know, like, I'm fucking stoked and I can't wait to taste the next batch, which I'm fucking very excited for. And yeah, man, I don't know what else to say other than I'm fucking
Yeah,
stoked.
no, dude, definitely. It's all that satisfaction of creation, you know.
Yeah.
When you create something and you're able to taste it, and it's like, we just this past, what was it, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, when Thomas was here, we kind of got a couple of commercially bought meads and ciders and stuff, and we were able to like compare ourselves. We did that not to try to like copy anybody, but just to kind of see where we stood,
Yeah.
amongst what was accepted as good in terms of like these were recommended to us, as in like, try these if you guys
Yeah.
want to get into it, try these. And to be able to have created something that was like within that realm, like, shit, I preferred some of our stuff over the stuff that we got
Oh,
at the fucking store.
hands
And
down,
it's like,
dude.
and I don't want to say that that's biased, because I feel like I would be I'll at least try to be fair. But some of that stuff was just kind of like, man, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I paid money for this shit.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
not even like, commercially like good. It's not even like oh yeah, I could see why people like this. It's kind of like a, fuck, I could see why people wouldn't like this.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get into. It's almost like you have to be one of those people that's like, ooh, I like it because it's very complicated, and most people wouldn't get it. Almost like a way to be snobby,
Yeah.
but you really don't like it. You just want to pretend like you
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
But that satisfaction of being able to have something that's kind of like within those realms, and be like, you know what? I feel like if we bottled our shit and put it in the same shelf, and people compared like we did and got our stuff, somewhere in the ballpark of like, hey, this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
I like it's hard to like convince people that we're not biased, but our shit's pretty good compared to the shit that's out there.
it really is.
But like
I'm not.
seriously, like it's like the shit that's commercially available, like some like I think we've tried enough mead s- up to this point so that I'm very confident to say at least 10% of it is good. And
Yeah,
it's
at least.
and I'm being fair.
Yeah,
And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's not a lot of meat out there. And the meat that we have
not too
tried,
much.
it's not that good. But
No.
this stuff that we're making, it's fucking amazing, man. And
Yeah, I like it.
it's like I don't like dry wine. like at all. I don't like dry wine, like white wine, like that dry shit. Even the red
Yeah,
wine that's like it tastes like fucking
it's kind of like bitter and
yeah, it's fucking acid and shit. I don't like
yeah,
that stuff. But this stuff is it's in the ballpark of both of them. So it teeter totters where it's still kind of sweet, but it's dry, and it's like for me, it's just like, dude, like I'm excited to try the next batch because we put a lot of effort and love into this batch that we fucking
yeah.
did.
It's a pretty big batch too.
Yeah, it's a fucking 5 gallon and
Five
yeah.
gallons.
That
It better be good.
it brings me to my next topic, which I want to talk about, which is white labeling. I don't know if you know about white labeling.
No.
Okay, so white labeling is basically, for instance, I don't know why I have a bottle of. I have a bottle of peach schnapps, right?
Okay.
So the liquid in here, what white labeling basically means is that some large company distilled this, made this peach schnapps. This company named
Uh
Steerings
huh.
basically bought, excuse me, a batch of the liquid and just slapped their label on it.
Hmm.
That's what white labeling means. And the companies and distilleries or whatever they want to be called that are fucking notorious for this is like Grey Goose, uh, fucking what's the tequila that's fucking hugely popular? Has a weird fucking bottle, uh, Patron.
Uh huh.
So
Sorry.
like it's good. So like Grey Goose and Patron, they're notorious for this because they buy their liquid in bulk from a different company, and they label it and they make their own company off of it. That's what white label it is. So if you go to like, for instance, Costco, and you buy their Costco brand
Kirkland.
The Kirkland brand vodka or tequila or shit like that. It's basically from the same company who makes Grey Goose, Belvedere, fucking Patron, and all those fucking big entity companies. And get this, there's brands or distilleries who make their mead available for you to white label. So we can buy a batch of mead, slap our label onto it, and call it a fucking day. But we're
Holy
not.
shit.
Just
That's
saying,
not what
but
we're
we're
doing.
not.
This isn't an idea. This is a this is just us saying that there's a lot of misrepresentation out
Oh
there.
yeah,
It's not us
definitely.
saying we're gonna do that.
I'll tell you to show pictures of the fermentation process behind you, but I know the fucking 5 gallon jug is heavy, so
Yeah, it's
I won't ask you.
I would not want to drop that.
But
But
yeah,
yes, it's just it's being made. You
yeah,
gotta trust
it's
me on that.
we have
But
video of us making it, and I'll have
oh
to
yeah,
like
yeah. There's we've
stitch
got
it
video, we've got
somehow.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'll have to stitch it somehow to this first ever web edition, webcam edition,
Webisode.
the webisode. But yeah, man,
But
I'm
yeah,
stoked.
we're making our own. We're not paying some big batch
Some big bitch. I
white
mean,
label thing. But yeah, man. I mean, I knew that shit was done, but I had no idea it was to that extent on some of these fucking companies that are so big.
yeah. I guess we're gonna end the show here. Thanks for sticking with us. Here we're the Oddfellas. I'm Lou Trey. This guy
You
down here,
beloved bastard,
and
keeping it real.
we're like a quarter of the Oddfellas. And
Quarter of the Oddfellas. And just a quick note, Joey Sanchez is still doing his promotional thing with the raffle tickets for the Clothe the Orphans charity event that we are running still. And so if you want to get we just posted it on our Instagram. I'm going to be bad with the details, but if you jump on his profile, which is at Joey Views, it's on our story. and I'm gonna be posting about it. Try to post up every day leading up towards just the end of the year. And just to remind everybody, but he's got a raffle going, $20 a ticket, and it enters you to win a family portrait session with him, professionally edited and everything. So if that's something that you might be interested, $20 gets you in to win a, I'm not sure what the actual price for something like this would be, but I'm gonna say $200 worth in prizes and $20 to get in. And not only that, you're helping kids. You're
Yeah.
helping these kids get some clothes on them. And you know how cold it is out there, man. It's cold in Mexico too.
Yes. Do
And
it.
we're also doing the shirt thing. So remember about the shirts.
I don't have the shirt on, so I can't be
Oh
like.
yeah, me neither. Need to get a shirt. Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's probably best that I haven't gotten the shirts. I have them tucked away in the corner, so we'll let those stay there.
I'll somehow superimpose it onto the screen here or here. Yeah, it'll be somewhere, you know. But yeah, I guess we'll just end it here now. And thanks for
Yeah.
listening. And yeah, this guy has a little words to say. You have the ending to say. This guy.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Ah, for sure. Oh yeah. So as always, remember, Oddfellows never sleep, especially when they have COVID.
No, they sleep all day.
Yeah, they sleep all day in that case. But try and stay woke.
Stay woke.